Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine. I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
I think when it comes to the woman, if a man takes charge and he shows that he's logical,
same people. That's the number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
$2025, just to give a little background before we go into the videos, is a conservative recommendation by various groups that got together and said, this is what we want done in 2025. It was created by a think tank.
For a potential conservative administration starting in January 2025. It is structured around four main pillars: policy development, personnel recruitment, training, and strategic planning for the early days of the new administration. Here's a more detailed breakdown of each component. First, let's look at the policy agenda. The Conservative Promise is a detailed policy guide that provides specific recommendations for governing major federal agencies. The guide encompasses conservative solutions to various issues, including economic policies, healthcare, education, and national security.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Kim.
I'm Mia. Sorry.
And tonight on the new party, we are going to be talking about Project 2025. In that first clip that you saw, that was a throwback clip. It's almost a year to the day, Gray, when we talked about Project 2025. That was one of our first, I think, videos that we did really well on. Now that we're a year in, before we talk about the first topic, what do you think about where we're at in the country right now, a year later, when we've covered it?
I was right all along. I basically said that Project 2025 was real. Even though people said it wasn't real, now we're seeing them enact all the things for Project 2025. So I guess until we see all of it enacted, will we hear people actually say that it was real?
Well, in the chat, guys, we are going to be doing a poll tonight. Last night, we did a poll for everyone watching. The poll results, the question last night was, who voted for Trump? It was literally a 50-50 split. So half of our audience are Trump supporters, half are not. So that's a nice balance that we got here. So we're very representative of America. But tonight the poll is Project 2025 real? Make sure y'all hit the like button. But before we get into that, we're going to drag the Democrats, man. We're gonna have to drag the Democrats first, okay? We're going to have a balance. Karine Jean-Pierre, who was President Biden's press secretary, is now going on a tour. And oh my God, that's all I got to say. We're going to get into it. So this first clip, this is her. I don't even know how to describe the denial, like where she's at. Here we go.
That's number one. My job was to speak to what the decision he made in the sense of continuing, trying to lift up the policies and the legislative wins that we did have. We did have legislative wins.
Sure,
and
but he didn't talk about them that well, though. He couldn't talk about them. He wasn't campaigning.
No. Wait. First of all, he did talk about them. Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
I mean, he talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. Like, he didn't do night events.
Tim, that's not true. Tim, you're conflating all of it. That's what you're. No, you're telling me he didn't talk well about it. Then you're telling me he didn't talk at all.
He didn't do either. He didn't talk very often, and when he did, it wasn't very good. He sounded very old.
Maybe you weren't paying attention to what we were doing at the White House. But
I paid attention. That I'm with you on the policies. I'm talking about his performance.
The president spoke to the American people a couple times a week. He traveled and did domestic travel and talked directly to the American people. We are talking about a time politically that is incredibly partisan. It is hard to break through any messaging. And it was an incumbency as well.
So based on that answer, Enzo, I'm going to let you go first. What do you think about what she said? I mean, it just gets worse. The denial about how bad he was. We're going to play that clip next. But what do you think about it? Do you think she really spent time with him? Or is she deflecting? Mind you, she's no longer a Democrat. So keep all that in mind, and we'll play that too later.
It was just on like a podcast or a news or whatever it was a couple months ago. Literally, she said verbatim, there were weeks at a time where I did not have any contact with the president. Verbatim. So for you to flip-flop over here now and say, well, we did speak to the president. He was aware that what was going on. He was talking about all this and all that. You literally lied through your teeth for a year and a half as the press secretary. I mean, at least Jen Psaki was a little more honest about the entire Biden administration. She's just I don't understand what's the point of still continuing to sit here and lie. Or brain dead Papa Jojo, who I think is a clone at this point. I don't even think he's a real person. A robot.
Kimberly, I'm correct in saying that you're not like Democrat, Republic. You're in like what party do you align yourself with?
I don't align myself with either party. I am so sorry, but I didn't hear anything Gray or Enzo said. I don't know if it's my computer.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you only.
Maybe get out and come back in.
Okay. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Also, are you on Google Chrome? Because if you're not, that would be the problem.
I am. I'll get out and get back in.
Okay. All right. I'll have you answer the next question. All right, great. Gray. Kamal, you're apolitical. Tell me your thoughts on all of this. Why is she flip-flopping so much now?
This shit comical. I don't know what's more comical, this or Andre Williams getting his ass whooped. I'm just saying, like, Jan, she a tether, man. Tethers be lying, man. You feel me? And it's kind of crazy to me. They all trying to do book deals now. Her, Joy Reid. What they about to
oh my god.
Do a book club and a wig club. I'm just tired of these motherfuckers, man, on the bullshit.
Not a book club, but a wig club.
You feel me? Like,
not the wigs.
Not for real.
Why you gotta come for the wigs though? Why you gotta come for the wigs?
The wigs came from me. You saw how atrocious that shit was? God damn.
That shit looked terrible. I ain't gonna lie.
Had his own phone number, own apartment and shit, paid mortgage. I'm like, damn. But this is the thing though, like, this is why I tell, you know, my Black Americans, don't feel bad if you vote Democrat one day and vote Republican the next. These motherfuckers flip-flop every other day. You saw she a Democratic 1 minute, the next minute. Now I'm independent. I lean a little bit more conservative now. Horse shit. You're not getting your butter biscuits like you used to getting. And look, man, it's like, look, I don't know, man. This what I hate to say. This what hoes do. Corinne Stephan wrote a book. Think about it. This is a whole move. When you go and be like, I'm going to write a tell-all book about what I was doing with people I shouldn't be telling the whole world about. That's just a whole move. You feel me? So that's just how I feel about it. You feel me? And at the end of the day, we know that tethers, they stay lying and they stay being on the bullshit. So, hey, what can I say?
Oh, Lord. Well, it only gets worse from here. Let's watch this clip on when she denies seeing any decline in Joe Biden.
Because I too thought that. And you said, people said, why didn't members of his inner circle speak up about what many believe was the apparent decline of Joe Biden? You said, you're a member of the inner circle and you never saw the decline. And after that, I wrote, how? Yeah. You even write, Karine, that you were on the plane with him going to the debate and you didn't see anything.
Well, when we were on the Air Force One going to the debate, you got to remember his campaign people were on the team, his family was on the team. I actually was one of those rare trips that I didn't really see him until after the debate, even though I was on the plane. So really, I want everybody to know that I take this question incredibly seriously. I do. I was his White House press secretary, which means I had a role that saw him practically every day and traveled with him.
And you saw nothing.
For more than 95%. We've always said, we're not going to say, oh, he didn't age. He aged. And he poked fun at it. We always owned up. And with age comes what happens when you get older.
Which is?
But when we talk about the mental acuity, and again, I take this very, very seriously. Yeah. I never saw anyone who wasn't there. I saw someone who was always engaged. I saw someone who understood policy, pushed us on the policy, and also understood history. And there were times, I'll tell you the story, there were times where he would call me into the Oval Office, and I would be like, oh no, because I knew whatever he was going to ask me was going to be direct, was going to be about a story he read, about how we're pushing back, how we're pushing a message forward.
And you write about the people within the party pushing him out. Some would describe those people fighting for a replacement candidate is fighting. But you also describe this current state of the Democratic Party as too timid. And what can the Democratic Party do to get out of this timid and even some will say disappointing place?
So timid that you've gotten out of the Democratic Party.
Here's the thing. I actually think that the system is broken. The two-party system is broken, and we need it to be fixed, to be working in order for a democracy. Look, just this past Saturday, millions of people, 7 million people.
And we say bye-bye, and we say bye-bye, and we say...
I love it. Okay. So, like, I don't even know. She probably was scared because she didn't know what the fuck was going to come out of his mouth. Mia, what do you think about that clip? And also, I want to set this up, Mia. This is a two-part question. Are you prepared to vote for Donald Trump for a third time and possibly see a Biden 2.0? Because he will be 80 plus years old and people are saying they're willing to vote for him. You can answer now.
Absolutely not. I think a lot of these politicians are just too old, and it shows in their policies. Most of them are boomers, and it shows.
I mean, I can't believe she stood on 10 toes and was trying to was like, yeah, he's aging. And they're like, and she just skirted around the fact that he had dementia or has dementia. And he had cancer or currently has cancer. I read somewhere that he was currently seeking treatment. Like, how do you skirt around that? Like, we all saw the headlines. We all saw this man. We see Mitch McConnell. Why are we dealing with all of these old motherfuckers? I don't get it. There's like 375 million people in this country, if not more. And this is what we have? A bunch of old, raggedy people? That's it? This is like, I mean, I live in an area that produced John F. Kennedy. I can't believe this is what we're come to.
Yeah, and I take back my stance. I'll vote for JD Vance over Trump again. I'm sorry. I don't want Biden 2.0. Kimberly, what do you think? What's your thoughts? I was asking you, what party do you align yourself with, if any? Because I know you're not Democrat and I know you're not Republican.
Right. I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns and they're also losers. They like to lose. That's why they put somebody up like a Kamala Harris. And that's why they put somebody up like a Joe Biden. And I come from California. We produce some of the worst Democrats. Feinstein, that was crazy. Newsom, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, the worst of the worst. If the Democrats were serious, if they really believed in what they espoused, they believe in, then they would pass bills, legislations, or anything that reflected that, but they don't. They're sold out to the highest bidder. And I saw some of the clips from her, Karine Jean-Pierre, and also Kamala Harris. And well, I think both parties are culty, but the liberals are especially culty because the liberal fan base are in complete denial. It's hard to take Democrat voters at this point. I always say vote third party. I'm from California, so my third party vote doesn't really make a difference. But third parties really only need 5% of the vote to get federal matching funds for the next election fund. That's the goal, 5%. Vote third party every time. Vote Libertarian, vote Green, vote whatever it is. Just don't vote for the Democrats and stop voting for the Republicans too.
Damn. This last clip, Gray, is for you. This is Karine Jean-Pierre and what she had to say about being independent.
You, other people identifying as an independent, solve the problem that you have identified.
Right. Look, for me, I'm not telling people, hey, you go become an independent. That's not my role. I am, again, focusing on the two-party system, how it's not working. I think there is something broken, and people would say to me, it's been broken for a while, but right now in this moment that we're in, and with the devastation that we have seen in the last 10 months, we really have to have this conversation about this system.
So Gray, she said the system's broken. She just ain't effing with the Democrats no more. I don't know what else to say. You are a lifelong Democrat. Listening to what everyone had to say, why are you still a Democrat? And what's your thoughts on her leaving the party?
Well, first I'll speak on her specifically. Her specifically, independent is just another name for Democrat. Bernie Sanders is an independent. He basically a Democrat. The Democrats aren't perfect. What happened with Joe Biden was horrible. Like, I had to talk about it when he did that on the debate stage. And of course, it was embarrassing. So I was just like, so they should have done something way better than that. The reason that I stay a Democrat is I feel like the Democrats' intentions are good. Whether they're accomplishing it or not, I feel like they're well-intentioned. And with the Democrats, I think they're held at a higher standard, because you can't be calling people uneducated or you don't know what you're talking about and then not deliver on the things that you're talking about. So I think they've overpromised and underdelivered.
Damn, the intentions are good, Gray said. Man, I gotta have Gray's spirit and mentality. Democrats, where's that $10,000 check? We've been asking for it for a year now. We need that check. it was, you know, I don't know if y'all remember, they was giving out checks last year. And I said, Gray needs his check because Gray took a beating. I'm going to tell you from now. He took a beating. But anyways, we're going to switch gears here. Is war imminent with Venezuela? So a lot has happened. I don't know if you guys know, but this is the latest and the greatest. 10,000 troops have been sent to the Caribbean. Let's watch.
U.S. official tells CBS News the U.S. military carried out another strike on a suspected cartel boat in the Caribbean Sea. This marks the 6th boat attack in the area since last month, but it's also the first known instance with survivors. No word from the White House yet on this latest attack, and at this point, the number of passengers and survivors, that's not clear either. The attacks come during a wider U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean. The U.S. is sending 10,000 total troops to the region, and that includes 2,000 Marines, multiple warships, and fighter jets. Meanwhile, Venezuela's president claims he is now mobilizing militia members. Let's go to CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson. Eleanor, thank you so much for joining us today. What do we know about this latest strike?
Well, Milgo, as you said, it's at least the 6th known strike on a vessel in the Caribbean, and it's the first one that we know of that is thought to have survivors. We don't know who was targeted, how many survived, how many were killed, but the previous strikes in the over a month and a half have targeted alleged drug vessels, killing nearly 30 people in total. It marks kind of this expansion of the U.S. military in the Caribbean for missions targeting drug cartels that have usually been handled by the Department of Homeland Security with interdictions. As you mentioned, there is a buildup in the region and that includes about 10,000 U.S. forces either on warships or on bases in Puerto Rico. That buildup could seem a bit like overkill if these strikes remain limited to just drug boats, but President Trump has threatened over the past several weeks that the strikes could expand to not only international waters, but potentially on land.
Okay, Ellie, so I understand you have reporting on the head of the U.S. Southern Command who oversaw these strikes. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Admiral Halsey, in a surprise move, announced he will retire early, just 1 year into what is a usually 2 to 3 year term. We learned about this first from Secretary Hegseth, who put out a statement honoring Halsey's career, and then a statement from the Admiral himself. Neither of the two men gave a reason for the early retirement. Officials tell CBS that the two men did have some tensions for a while, and at least one official suspected that the firing was going to come in the days ahead of the announcement. But this firing adds, or this retirement adds to a list of over a dozen senior military leaders who have either stepped down or been fired by Hegseth over the previous months since the Trump administration entered the White House. But this one comes at a time during this buildup in the region and will tee up a confirmation hearing in the Senate where senators can ask questions that are still pretty much unanswered about the.
Well, I mean, I think he left because he doesn't. I don't know. The rumor is the reason why he resigned, and they're gonna have hearings on this, is that he didn't agree with these strikes. He told them not to do the strikes. He said not to do it. So Enzo, is war imminent? What do you think?
I mean, listen, we've been fighting a war on drugs since the 80s. The drugs have been winning. So I'm actually happy that this is going on. I think it's hilarious. The funniest thing that I've heard from people when talking about this in my lives, they go, well, they're blowing up these boats without giving them due process. That's the funniest shit to me. I'm like, what the fuck what do you mean? International water, we have to give drug smugglers due process. Like at this point, just get it over with. And we've seen what we can do in South America with changing regimes. We could look at Operation Just Cause with Panama. It'll be quick and fast, done and over with. What was it? Noriega pretty much had the militia there. We took them over in a day or two. I mean, I think once troops land, Maduro is he's not even gonna try. So get it over with. Who gives a fuck at this point? Get the dictator out. That's what we love doing. Democrats love toppling dictators. So let's get ahead. Let's go do it, guys.
All right. So tinfoil hat time. I got call on the person put their tinfoil hat on. Let's talk about all the coups that have failed in South America. There's a lot. Grenada, the Bay of Pigs. Is this a setup on Trump? is CIA giving him bad intel and about to make him look stupid. That's just my tinfoil hat conspiracy because I love history. Mia, what do you think?
No, so I don't think they're actually going to make him look stupid. And I believe we are going to enter into a war with Venezuela. So Venezuela holds the largest proven oil reserves on the planet. They surpass Saudi Arabia, 300 billion gallons of proven oil. And that doesn't include the rare earth minerals that are sitting there. They've had a 70% production drop of oil over the last 20 years, which means they're not really producing the oil. And the United States, if anybody knows oil, is our specialty is dirty, crude, sour. So the sulfuric, the thickest of the thick, the blackest of the black. That is our specialty, which is why we do so much oil refining for Canada, because Canada has a ton of dirty crude. So we are in a very unique position to legitimately go through, take over, and refine all of that oil there, because the type of oil they have is our specialty to refine. We are absolutely going to get into a war, and we are definitely going to get in there and leach all of those reserves, for sure.
I don't think it's all just about the oil, though. I mean, Venezuela is friends with Russia and China, and if they are weak, they are then weak. So I'm not totally in disagreement with him weakening an ally that's so close to us. Ray, what do you think? Is it about oil or is it about the relationships that Venezuela has?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, they've had issues with Venezuela for a long time, and Trump had an issue with Maduro his first term. So, I mean, you know, Trump is very much a person with personal issues. If we look at past presidents with George Bush and George Bush Sr., you know, they were the father. He was upset at what he did to the father. So people hold grudges. We're all human beings. I think that's what put Maduro in a bad spot, is his personal issues with Trump.
Yeah. But also many people don't know about something, a little known history fact that I'm going to teach everyone tonight. It's called the Monroe Doctrine. And here we go.
Monroe Doctrine, defining America's hemisphere in 1823. Amid a world reshaped by the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars and the rise of newly independent Latin American nations, President James Monroe delivered a defining statement in his annual message to Congress. This statement, known today as the Monroe Doctrine, set the tone for U.S. foreign policy in the Western Hemisphere for nearly 2 centuries. A bold declaration of hemisphere sovereignty, the Monroe Doctrine was born out of American concerns that European powers, still powerful and ambitious, might seek to reclaim lost colonies or extend their influence in the Americas. Though the United States itself lacked the military strength to enforce a bold policy, Monroe, guided by Secretary of State John Quincy Adams, declared 4 essential tenets. The United States would not interfere in the internal conflicts or wars of Europe. It would respect existing European colonies in the Americas and not interfere with them. The Western Hemisphere was no longer open to future colonization by European powers. Any European attempt to oppress or control any independent nation in the Americas would be viewed as a hostile act toward the United States. By drawing this stark line, Monroe asserted American influence, warning Europe that attempts to recolonize or dominate the hemisphere would not be tolerated. Early challenges and British support initially. The Monroe Doctrine was largely a statement of intent, with little immediate power. America's military was small, and European powers often ignored the declarations. However, the British Navy, with vested interests in keeping other European powers at bay, helped enforce it indirectly. The close alignment of British and American interests in limiting Spanish and French influences in the Americas gave the doctrine a stronger foundation than the US alone could provide at the time. The doctrine's evolution over the 19th and 20th centuries, the Monroe Doctrine was repeatedly revisited and reinterpreted. In the late 19th century, the US emerged as a global power and began exerting more direct influence in Latin America. President Theodore Roosevelt's 1904 Roosevelt Corollary expanded the doctrine, asserting a U.S. right to intervene in the hemisphere to maintain order and sovereignty, turning it from a passive policy into an active assertion of American dominance. This shift saw the U.S. become a hemispheric policeman, intervening in countries like Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic under the guise of preventing European intervention and stabilizing the region. This expansion of power was controversial, straining relations with many Latin American nations wary of U.S. intentions. Cold War and beyond. The Monroe Doctrine saw renewed prominence during the Cold War, most famously during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 when the U.S. opposed Soviet missile installations in Cuba. The doctrine's promise to keep foreign powers out of the Americas was invoked to justify American actions that brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. Lasting legacy. The Monroe Doctrine laid the foundation for the United States' role in the Western Hemisphere, and reflected its growing confidence and assertion on the global stage. Though debated and reinterpreted, its core message continues to influence American foreign policy. Thus, the Monroe Doctrine is much more than a historical proclamation. It is a testament to a nation's rise, a symbol of sovereignty, and a key to understanding the often complex and contentious relations between the Americas and the rest of the world over the past 2 centuries.
Okay, before Kamal and Kimberly answer, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Guys, we are accepting super chats. Please hit the like button. Also, we have memberships. If you would like our official new party emojis, make sure you get a membership. And we are doing a giveaway tomorrow night. So make sure you come back tomorrow night and be in the chat. We will be giving away 20 memberships tomorrow night for those that are in the chat. So let me tell you what a membership is and then pause for the cause. Hi, guys. We have an exclusive offer for the upcoming holiday season. So be a part of the fastest growing political movement out there right now, the new party. If you join for $1.99 from now until December 31st, you get exclusive badges, exclusive emojis, and you also get access to all of our member-only content. For the next grade up, our $4.99 plan, which is for the senators, you get to join a once-a-month exclusive member-only call and ask us anything you like. Link in bio, check it out. Make sure you guys are joined. Also, make sure you're subscribing. Thank you for all your support. Okay, yeah, so come back tomorrow night, everybody. That is our giveaway. Kamal, what is your thoughts? What do you think about the video we watched? Based on what you see, do you think Trump and the Trump administration is right for bombing these boats that are allegedly carrying drugs?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't really watch the video. I was getting distracted. My cat was fucking being a nuisance right now. I had this little motherfucker. He just knows when I shoot with y'all, and he just started doing dumb shit. So I didn't get to really fully watch the video. I was fucking fighting with the damn cat and shit. But just like what's that character from South Park say? Drugs is bad. Well, hey, shit. You feel me? That's all I really gotta say about it. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? If he fighting the war on drugs, and if that's the opponent, what can I say? You feel me? Now, do I oppose drugs? I plead the fifth on that.
Oh Lord.
Okay?
Oof.
But
well,
yeah.
You know what's interesting? The route that he's supposedly bombing, they claim it's a CO route, and it's for going to Europe. It's not even the FET route. I don't want to say it.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
It's what they claim. So I mean, allegedly by that, Kim, what's your thoughts? Do you think it's justified in what he's doing based on the video you watch and based on us and the Monroe Doctrine and us being the police of this side of the world?
I'll one up Kamal. I personally like drugs. If y'all haven't done some drugs,
we online.
Allegedly, this is a comedy sketch.
Okay, yes, I am.
Allegedly, joke, haha, funny.
That is a joke. Forgive me. I actually don't even drink or smoke.
No, you can say it just like talking codes, bro. Just code. Don't say the word. Just codes.
You getting y'all memberships to rehab?
I really don't even drink or smoke. I'm joking. But yeah, so we shouldn't be bombing boats on international waters. We should, if we think there are alleged drug dealers, they should have due process. We should prosecute them. We should prove a case. There's no evidence that any of these boats are carrying any alleged drug traffickers. There's also no evidence that Maduro is trafficking any drugs. by the DEA, the state, and a lot of other U.S. agencies' own reports last year, there really isn't a significant amount of drugs coming out from Venezuela. If this really was the quote war on drugs, which by the way is failed, it's clashing with the war on terror, which is also failed. It's not a good move. We would be we would have gone to war with Mexico and the Mexico cartels or with China. This is all a ruse. It's a guise. I do think it has to do with possibly the largest oil reserves that Venezuela has in the world. There's actually a really good book, I'm looking at it right now, by Anya Priampil called Corporate Coup that she wrote 4 years ago when the Trump administration tried to coup out Maduro again with Juan Guaido. That failed, and that's why he ended up firing John Bolton. But one of the reasons why we're actually attacking Venezuela, the real reasons, is because it's been Marco Rubio's wet dream since he first came. And a lot of
because of communism, right?
Right, but it's never really about communism, because if that were the case, then we would have disbanded NATO at the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. So,
but that's the excuse he's using because he's Cuban, for everyone to know, and he's
right.
a child of Cuban refugees.
Right, a lot of conservative Hispanics they have it out for communism, because I'm not communist, by the way, and I also, just as a disclosure, Maduro is an authoritarian. I'm not saying that he's a good leader. I don't think that he's a good leader, but that doesn't give us the right to overthrow him. It doesn't give us the right to overthrow anybody. There's absolutely no intervention that anybody could point to since World War II that has been good for the people thereafter. Libya became a failed state. There was chattel slavery in Libya after we did that. That was horrible. We never leave a country better off than it was before. We do it because we want to keep the manufacturers of weapons stocks high. If we're going to end one war, we have to start another one. It's all money laundering. And you're going to tell me it's about drugs? It's absolutely not true. Because then, like I said, then they would have gone after Mexico. Through the DEA's own report, there was 0 fentanyl that came from Venezuela at all last year. A lot of the drugs that are from cocaine come from Colombia. So that's all a ruse. It's all a guise. They just want to make fund these corporations. It's just because they have oil reserves and we can refine it doesn't mean we can go in there and do it. We shouldn't, because then it'll cause a huge refugee crisis. We're already crying about the Venezuelan refugees. Why would we want to create more Venezuelan refugees? Let's lift the illegal economic sanctions on that poor country. It attributes to half of the economic turmoil that country has. Let's lift the economic sanctions on Cuba. Let's let these countries, if they're going to fail on communism, fail on their own. Why do we cripple them with these embargoes and sanctions just because we want to go eventually take over some of their resources and their oils? It's completely illogical. There's no logical argument for attacking Venezuela at all, but they're going to do it anyways because they can.
Oof. Wow, the chat's going crazy. Some people are like, yeah, go Kimberly. The others are like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But Kimberly has said 0 lies in her answer, in my opinion. 0 lies, all facts. But anyways, we'll go on. We're going to move on. The government shut down. Oh, you're going to show your book?
This is the book. This is just from 4 years ago. It's a really good book. Please go read it.
What's the name again?
Not you. I'm sorry. I was talking to people in the chat.
Oh, you're not offending me. You might not always know what I have to say, so it's okay.
No, that's okay.
All right, guys. Government shutdown, day 20. So the biggest thing this week, y'all, is people are hearing they ain't gonna get their EBT checks. Okay, people are crashing out about them EBT checks. Let me show you what one crash out.
Motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting that goddamn food stamps in goddamn November? Cause I'm getting my goddamn shit. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this, on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries. Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a
I believe her when she says that.
Baby, that's
me too.
I'm turn into.
250 pounds, I believe it.
motherfucking
Basically
monthly
meals.
groceries that I get every goddamn month. I ain't bothering no goddamn body, okay? Why the fuck is y'all bothering me and my goddamn food?
Tiggs, you doing?
I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass. Shaped like a motherfucking penguin any motherfucking way, albino motherfucking walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like, it's gonna be an episode of goddamn Snap if y'all turn them goddamn Snap benefits off. I can tell you that.
Snap. And I bet, like, no shade. I'm gonna let Mia go first, but no shade. I bet you all her kids got Jordans. She probably stay in wigs, all the lace fronts. And this is where I gotta give Enzo. I don't think we should turn our back on people, but I think there should be limits. I'm gonna give you that, Enzo, because I thought about everybody that's on EBT. Their kids be having Jordans. They be having all the fly. Ray, you laughing, but am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Why you trying to put it on Izzo? Why you said
Because I said it the other day that I don't agree with any of the programs.
I had to really think about it. I had to take a step back. I'm like, you know what? The one girl I know that is on Snap, her kids got Jordans, and I can't even afford Jordans because I'm paying for food and I'm paying my taxes. But anyways, I digress.
God kids.
Huh?
So I got 3 god kids. All of them, their parents are on food stamps, but they got Jordans, iPads, iPhones. They got everything. Make that make sense.
I don't know. But
Love
anyways,
y'all, but hey, listen, y'all don't need it.
yeah. So, Mia, what do you think about that video? What do you think about what she said? I mean, I know you were fired up about WIC the other night. Me and you were on the same page. I do think WIC is needed. I will approve WIC all day because WIC, many people don't know, you don't get the cash. I'll tell you how it works. You get a list and you have to follow the list. And it's good food. It's healthy food. It's not junk. What do you think?
I think SNAP is the first word of SNAP is supplemental. So it is not supposed to be your main source of food money. It is supplemental. You're supposed to have your own source of income, and this is just supposed to supplement that. I think the entire program needs to be reformed. There's a lot of fraud. I mean, we all know people that abuse it. We all know people that sell it to the bodegas, and the bodegas take their card and they turn it in, and there's mad schemes. Like, we all know. However, it only costs the American taxpayer, I believe, $36 a year for an entire year. So most of us don't even $36 a year, we wouldn't even see it gone. I do believe all American children are entitled to eat. I think is extremely important to me. And 40% of SNAP recipients are children. Another 42% are adults with disabilities and elderly, which I do feel as a society, especially first world, we should be taking care of disabled individuals. We should be taking care of children, and we should be taking care of elderly as well, especially those that have paid in for 70 years. You know, I feel like that's fair. However, I will say I've seen a lot of videos, and a lot of them are talking about potentially robbing individuals.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna play that next.
All I have to say is there are a lot of states in the United States where you don't need a permit to conceal carry, and carry that information with you when you leave your house and you want to act a fool, because there are many states that do not require a permit for concealed carry. And I'll land with that.
I'm gonna play the clip that Mia's talking about, and then I'll let Gray respond. This is them saying that what they predict running, like people are gonna be stealing the cards. Here we go.
People are gonna start, I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores, they're going to start watching people go to their cars. And they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do? Not our problem. Not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property. Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They're going to leave your ass for dead. And people are really going to be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you. It seems like it's headed that way. Now, what other choices are people going to have to find food to eat? Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're going to look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, about to go home and feed your family from the, hard-earned money that you made from working your job that afforded you the affordability?
So, Gray, I mean, Thanksgiving is around the corner. I know you've personally known a lot of people that are affected by the government shutdown. What do you think about this? Do you think this is just a symptom of, like, what do you think about it?
Well, my first response with self checkout, why would you steal somebody's groceries? You could go right to self checkout, put it all in there, pretend to swipe and walk out. So you don't have to grab somebody's groceries. And I don't think people are gonna do that, because if I like chicken ramen noodles and they got seafood ramen noodles, I'm gonna be real ticked off. So I mean,
Why are we? I love seafood ramen noodles. Why you hating on seafood, man?
I'm just being real. So I don't necessarily think that that's going to happen. Do I think the crime rate may go up because people no longer have that money? They can't get a job? Possibly. I mean, like, that's going to happen. As far as the hood and how they acted about it, I would just say, relax. Like, let's see how it works out. You don't have to go crashing out on $300 worth of food stamps. So, yeah.
Don't answer that, Gray. If Ryan, if you want him to do that, you need to send a super chat. Because Gray knows a lot. But anyways, he try and come for you. But he gonna need to spend this money. Okay, so this next clip right here, this is talking about the government shutdown. Then I'll let Enzo respond.
Thank you. The Senate is back in Washington to vote for an 11th time to end the government shutdown. The House remains out of session, as it has been since September 19th. Speaker Johnson believes Democrats will move to reopen the government now that the No Kings protests have ended. The Democrats say their stance is centered around keeping health care affordable. Kristen Eskow from our D.C. Bureau joins us now live. Kristen, what do we know?
Well, Rick, at this point, it doesn't look like any end is in sight, because even though Republicans see some hope that perhaps Democrats will vote to end the shutdown now that the No Kings protests have passed, right now Democrats show no signs of backing down from their health care demands. As the Senate returns to Washington, the House has now been out of session for more than a month.
We passed a responsible short-term solution to keep the government open while we just simply finish our work to fund the government.
House Speaker Mike Johnson accuses Democrats of playing politics with the No Kings protests held around the country on Saturday.
We will not move toward authoritarianism in America.
Organizers estimate 7 million people rallied against President Trump and his administration.
Now that Democrats have had their protest and publicity stunts, I just pray that they come to their senses and end this shutdown and reopen the government this week.
But House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats are sticking to their demands on health
great
care.
value, Obama.
They want to reverse Republicans' cuts to Medicaid and extend tax credits tied to the Affordable Care Act.
We will not support a partisan Republican spending bill, which is the bill that they continue to bring before the Senate.
Republicans
Not nearly
say
as funny,
that's not
though.
true, and argue Democrats are to blame for high health care costs.
It is Democrats who've been holding the American people hostage to an unconscionably broken health care system that they themselves created.
Now, the 11th vote on that stopgap funding bill is set to take place tonight in the Senate. But, Rick, at this point, there's no indication it'll pass.
Yeah, it's hard to find cooperation on D.C., and I understand that the Senate may also vote on a bill this week that would pay federal workers who have been forced to work during the shutdown. Is that something the House would come back and try to consider if it's passed in the Senate?
Yes, it would. So Speaker Johnson told reporters this morning when he was asked about this that he would be willing to bring the House back to Washington to consider this bill if it passes in the Senate. And that would pay federal employees who have continued working during the shutdown and active duty military. But Speaker Johnson said he's skeptical that this will pass the Senate because since 60 votes are needed to pass a bill in the Senate, some Democrats will need to join Republicans.
Hey, Zane, shut the fuck up, bro.
Oh, Lord. Spoiler alert. It did not pass. We're still shut down. And so who do you blame? Democrats, Republicans? What you think? Or both?
Blame the Democrats. Blame the Democrats. They had since July 4th to put legislation forward for these ACA subsidies that were taken out to the big, beautiful bill. And here's the funny thing about these subsidies. So Democrats, what were we going to do after December 31st when these subsidies expired? What were we going to do then? Because you guys had all this time to put something forward to even extend it. You guys didn't do so. This is all just political theater. The Democrats don't want to do their job. They're going to do everything to blame Donald Trump for a government shutdown when, again, we've had 11 CRs to fund the government, to get personnel paid. They refuse to do so. They'd rather to cater to their base of Hamas terrorists, Antifa thugs, and illegal immigrants. They would rather cater to them than the regular American people and mask this. We want healthcare for all, even though they lied to their base. These subsidies go to illegal migrants and undocumented migrants. That's who it predominantly helps. Everybody wants to bring up percentages and how the Republicans have the majority. Okay, what about the majority of those benefits going to illegal migrants and undocumented migrants that the Democrats claim they can't get these benefits? They can't get these benefits. Also, explain Medi-Cal, explain funding in Illinois, as well as some other Democratic states. Oh, and then what about all the people that have been deported out of this country that they found they were getting these benefits? Can I get some answers from those Democrats? Like, you do understand, the more we keep digging, the more we're going to find out. The more we're going to keep exposing you guys for showing that you don't give a fuck about the American people. And it's disgusting that you're hiding behind blaming the Republicans. Oh, we care about everybody. We care about, no, you care about select subgroups more than you care about the real American people.
Well, in this clip, Trump says he blames Schumer. I'm going to have Kamal respond to that.
So the shutdown continues. The Republican Party's not going to pay $1.5 trillion to illegal immigrants coming into our country, coming in for a lot of reasons, coming in from prisons, from jails, from all over the place, from Venezuela, many countries. We're not going to do that. So the shutdown continues. It's a Democrat shutdown. It's a Schumer shutdown because his career has failed and it's over. I met with President Zelensky, as you know, today. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
He says he approves the message. Okay, President Trump says it's the Democrats and Schumer, Kamal. What do you say? Whose fault is it?
I mean, shit, I'll be honest, man. It's all these motherfuckers' fault, bruh. God damn, man. They think, hey, Donald Trump doing the finger point, I'll be talking about the Democrats be doing. Oh, it's their fault. Nah, man, I don't want to hear that shit. But I do have to say, though, hey, man, we got to get some clips of some fat white women talk about, I ain't going to get my damn SNAP benefits. Because,
find it. If you find it, I'll play it.
That ain't in my algorithm.
It's not in mine either. I mean, you know me,
I'm just saying.
I'm not like
the one girl that we played on here, the one chick where she was like, "Oh, if they get rid of my benefits, I'm not gonna be able to provide for my 7 kids." That was driving around the Range Rover. Her.
Who found that clip? Was that you, Greg?
That was vulgar. That was vulgar, right?
Oh, no, that
was
vulgar.
I don't remember. That was a while back. That was when all this stuff first started. I don't remember it was on here or the Man Cave, but yeah, that chick.
Yeah, we need
I wanted an update on her.
Yeah, exactly. She had like 8 kids. Talking about, yeah, if I be damned, y'all take my damn food stamps away from me. She sounding like that.
That was crazy work.
You know, I like the redneck fat white ones the most, so I would have played it if I you know, I'm not like that. But people in the chat was like, play the black ones or play the white ones. Yeah,
hey, we blaming Elon Musk. We blaming Elon Musk for the algorithm.
I will say I'm white just so we could play them. I'm white so I can make fun of them.
I will say, I don't think we're going to see any until after November 1st because I feel like they think they have that hope that it's not going to be them. Everybody thinks it's right. Everybody thinks it's not going to be them until it's them. So I have a feeling we aren't going to see a peep out of a lot of Caucasian women and, you know, men too, until November 2nd or 3rd, when they realize it's potentially not coming if they can't come to agreement, you know, during the rest of this month. Because like I said, everybody thinks it's not going to be them until it's them. And I feel like they think because they're Trump voters that they're going to somehow it's not going to happen to them.
I agree.
Can I say this? Those are the stupid ones. Those are the stupid ones. And when people say, and they take that out of context, that Trump loves the uneducated, those are them. You think it's not going to happen to you and it's only going to happen to a select subgroup, you're an idiot. And I hope it happens to you. And I hope it's taken away from you, honestly. Because it'll make
even
you laugh.
even the NAGA you saying that about?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I talk shit about MAGA all day long. I think MAGA is the liberals of the Republican Party. That's what MAGA has evolved to in my eyes. 2016, MAGA was the Republican base. 2024, MAGA is the extremist of the party, and I will say that. I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican. I can agree with Make America Great Again, but I am not MAGA.
Well, I will say this. I'm looking out November 2nd or 3rd. I want to see some hillbillies talk about they didn't get their SNAP benefits, because I think they funny too when
Me
they
too.
they have
Me
their own
too.
shit, talk about they ain't getting their shit. You feel me? I just want to see some balance. You feel me? Elon Musk, motherfucker. God damn,
That's right. And you know I'm not like that, Kamal. If I could find it, I would. But anyways, we're going to switch gears to the main topic of the night. Is Project 2025 real? So I've been doing some big deep dive breakdown and pretty much a lot of things. I'm going to be completely transparent. I was, when we talked about this a year ago, Ray will tell you, I said, this isn't real. This don't make sense. But I'm going to tell you some of the things we're seeing. And then I'm going to have Kimberly go first because I didn't let her go last round. But some of the things we're seeing, real. It's kind of looking like we seeing some things of it. I just hope it's not the real bad stuff. Kimberly, you seem like somebody that does a lot of research. Is Project 2025 real? What have you seen that you think makes you think it is? And tell me about the worst stuff that you predict to come.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know about Project 2025. I thought it was real. Is it not real?
It's not real. So pretty much Project 2025 is
I don't do a lot of research. I do like to read sometimes though, but not all the time. Go ahead, son.
So pretty much Project 2025 was made up by a conservative think tank, okay? And
okay. The Heritage Foundation.
Right. So Trump
Okay.
announced it over and over again, but I'm going to play clips. There are things that have been done that are part of it. I'm going to be honest with you, including this government shutdown, the mass layoffs. We'll get to that, but yeah.
They probably like picked and chose like little things or got ideas from it.
Yeah. So this first thing is an element of it. It's regarding the mass layoffs. In fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but more people were laid off just this month with the shutdown.
Court filings on Friday outlined the scope of these layoffs. The administration saying that reduction in force notices were issued at least 7 agencies, impacting over 4,000 workers. That includes more than 1,400 people at the Department of Treasury, over 1,100 workers at the Department of Health and Human Services, over 460 at the Department of Education, and over 440 at the Department of Housing and Urban Development. There were also RIF notices for the Departments of Commerce, Energy.
So the point that this goes to, Kimberly, is reducing or dismantling the federal administrative state. This is many people have lost their jobs, even being with the government shutdown. What do you think about that clip and about that?
With regards to, I'm sure they probably did get the idea from Project 2025. They've been talking about reducing the federal government for a long time with regards to like, where at least the conservatives have. I actually do think the government is too big. It's too convoluted. It's too bureaucratic. I think that's a big part of the problem with the government is that it's like this huge behemoth that has all these different factions, like the security state, the federal government for this. You don't need an agency for absolutely everything. I do believe that some things need to be regulated, but not over-regulated. Then the liberals do like this overcorrection with everything, sometimes has the opposite effect. With regards to like social services and the social safety net particularly, a lot of the payments that go out for that don't really require like the layoffs or even federal employees. That's just like automatic payments going out, and they could have approved that so people at least get their money. But with the social safety net, it should be like a temporary net, at least for Americans. It should help lift them up. The real solution to that would be to raise the minimum wage and tether it to inflation, because they subsidize these corporations like Walmart. A lot of employees at Walmart are large recipients of welfare. So instead of giving them a raise, They'll subsidize the corporation. The corporation will keep all the money, the profits, billions of dollars, and then the government will help pay their employees through these social welfare programs. So that's the issue with that. And bringing it back to the layoffs, I think there is probably some of the fat that we could trim in the federal government. I'm sure there's a right way to do it. I don't know if they got it from Project 2025. Conservatives have been talking about it for a long time. There's probably a right way to do it, and I suspect that they're probably not doing it in the right way.
Yeah, the other element of Project 2025, and I'm gonna have Mia answer next after this next clip, is regarding like fast policy changes, like sweeping policy changes, changing the culture of everything, like, and fast. And we saw that on day one when President Trump took office.
I just got the exclusive on what President-elect Trump will do on his first day in office. The president will sign more than 200 executive actions. This is a massive, record-breaking first wave of policy priorities. It focuses on border security, energy, and more. Here's what you need to know. On day one, President-elect Trump will declare a national border emergency, direct the U.S. military to work with the Department of Homeland Security to fully secure the southern border, and he will establish a national priority to eliminate all criminal cartels operating on U.S. soil. Trump will also designate cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Trump will reinstate Remain in Mexico. He will also end catch and release, and he will direct the military to construct new areas of border wall. A senior administration official also told me that Trump will sign executive orders and actions related to energy policy. They say that these policies will be about liquid, natural gas, ports, fracking, pipelines, permitting, and more. Trump will also end all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the federal government. He also will establish biological sex definitions, and he will rename historical places like the Gulf of America on day one. Trump will also sign specific presidential memorandum to ensure that costs for American taxpayers are lowered. And as promised, Trump will roll back a number of Biden-era policies. He will end the Green New Deal, end the electric vehicle mandate, and he will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. And as for TikTok, it is back operational in the U.S. due to Trump's actions. If you want more details on
So Mia, where the taxes at? We seen the taxes.
I mean, I can't tell you where the tax is at. I mean, I'm sure there's being handed out to corporations and private equity at this point in time because they're trying to utilize private equity at $17 trillion to privatize infrastructure in the military. But the cornerstone to private equity is ROI, which is return on investment, which means if they privatize the military through private equity, we would have to get into wars because they need their return on investment. Legally, that's how it is. You have to. That's the law, is you have to pay your shareholders first. But I digress. When it comes to Project 2025, if you asked me a year ago, I would have agreed with you, Nora, and been like, no, it doesn't exist. But I took notes, and what do you know? All of the words verbatim that Hegseth has said in his military speech, I pulled directly from Project 2025. War fighting focus. That's funny. That's exactly what he said. Support Homeland Security with military. He said multiple times he wanted to transform the military. Again, quote, verbatim from Hegseth and Project 2025. Also, they want to continue sustained support for Israel, which we're doing, a focus on China, which we are currently doing. And then the biggest one is burden sharing. Remember when Trump first took office in January, one of the first things he said is all of the NATO countries needed to share the burden of the cost. And that has been a running trend with us because we were trying to step back and make everybody else start paying more money into the pot. Another cornerstone thing that comes direct from Project 2025 to what the Trump administration is doing. And then a focus on Asia for allies. But a lot of people don't realize in the United States, we don't consider Muslims Muslim. We actually consider them Asian. So that also trends because in the United States, Muslims fall under the Asian category. We don't actually have a category for Muslims, so they fall under Asia. Again,
how is that possible?
Trend.
Muslim is a religion.
But most people don't think of somebody from Iraq as being Asian. You think of Asian, you think of Philippines, Guam, China, Japan. But that's what they list as a race in the United States. They list as Asian.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I learned that because I used to work for the state.
They're considered Caucasian, believe it or not. Middle Eastern people are considered Caucasian in the United States. That's what their race is.
That's crazy because when I worked for the state, they listed Asian. Like those coming from India, like the country of India, never listed Caucasians. They listed Asian.
Hold up. Indians and Muslims ain't the same thing, though. They not the same thing. Indians and Muslims are not the same thing. Indians.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying most of them list Asian as their race versus Caucasian or black
Indian,
or whatnot.
Sense, and Indians are not Middle Eastern. It's totally different. Totally.
I was just saying that to say that it makes sense that they're focusing more on Asia, the sustained support for Israel, and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, they're pretty much verbatim following everything what they're saying on TV or is quoting what is in the Heritage Foundation 20. It's kind of eerie when I was writing all of this down in quotations. Like it is a little it's kind of eerie how they're copying it.
Yeah. So I agree with Mia, and that's why I did this topic tonight. But yeah, so the next clip is for Gray. This is what Charlamagne the God had to say.
And what I do say to my listeners is it's just unconstitutional. If you voted for Donald Trump because he was America first and he was going to make America great again, and you're waving your red, white, and blue flag, and you're all about patriotism, what he's doing is unconstitutional. He's literally wiping his ass with the Constitution. And this is things I was saying even during the campaign. Like, this is the same man who said he wanted we should terminate parts of the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. I said this on Fox News a couple of times. I said it on Gutfeld show, and I said it on when I sat with Brian Kilmeade, right? And they were acting like their fact checkers couldn't find that statement. like even though it was right there, right? It's right there. Yeah. So for me, it's like, just let the patriots know that this is unconstitutional. The things he's doing, are violate the Constitution. So if you really claim to be America and America first, and you MAGA, you want to make America great again, do you really want a leader that doesn't care about the Constitution?
Oof. Gray, what do you think about that?
First off, to the chat and to the panel, if you want to know the main architect of Project 2025, his name is Russell Vought, and he worked for Republicans in D.C. and for 8 years, and he felt like they weren't real Republicans, and that he went to the Heritage Foundation to basically have more of the government taken out. Basically, he was quoted as saying that the federal government bureaucrats are what's hurting the government. They need to be hurt as much as possible. So to talk about what's unconstitutional, what Charlamagne the God is saying with Trump, yes, this is the first time we've seen any president ever try to do some of these things that people don't necessarily consider legal. And I feel like we're going to see Trump's presidency played out throughout the court system. So we do have three branches of government, like Ryan was trying to call me out and say. So we're going to see what those other two branches of government do and how they handle Trump trying to do things that people deem that a president shouldn't be able to do. And I have seen a lot of MAGA people say F the Constitution. So, I mean, that is alarming.
Yeah, we're going to have a lesson tonight on the Constitution too. Jesus. Okay, so I got this other clip. This talks about Constitution, then I'll let Kamal respond.
If you are not a U.S. citizen, then you do not have constitutional rights. I have no idea where that information has come from, but that is not correct. The bottom line is the U.S. Constitution protects individuals that are in the United States that have had their rights violated. And just so that we are clear, I'm going to read to you Section 1983 verbatim so that you will understand and really grasp that the Constitution is here to protect everyone. Now, we all know that there are certain rights that a U.S. citizen only can have, and that's the right to vote. But for the most part, the protections that are guaranteed under the Constitution apply to everyone. Section 1983 of the United States Code states as follows: every person who, under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia subjects or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or, one more time, or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceedings for redress. In other words, if you are a person that is not a U.S. citizen, but you are in the jurisdiction of the United States of America, then you are protected by the Constitution.
So, Kamal, should we just stop following the Constitution? What do you think? I mean, many people don't know. I mean, I had to give this lesson the other night on another panel. But whether we like it or not, anybody that steps foot in America are protected by this. And I don't think people understand that.
Man, we don't follow the fucking Constitution. I'm tired of this horse shit, god damn it. God damn. What are these people talking about, man? We haven't been following the Constitution. You see how they be treating my ancestors and my Black Americans and shit. I don't want to hear that horse shit. You feel me? I want to address somebody in the chat. David Johnson, it sucks that we got the last name because motherfucker right now, you in the chat, y'all know the homeless motherfuckers that be out and they just yelling at birds and shit and just yelling random ass shit. That's what David Johnson is right now. Do any of y'all got critical thinking skills? You're not answering because your dumbass not even on topic. You just yell, the 1% of the wealthiest own 50% of this and that. We talk about the Constitution right now. Take your drunk ass on somewhere, you goddamn ignoramus. God damn. I don't know,
man. He's on dial-up. That's why he's still talking about that.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, god damn. Man. I could take some things in the chat because some of y'all saying some asinine things. You feel me? Most of the chat smart as hell, but some of y'all talking out your ass. But David Johnson, god damn, you keep saying the same thing. Goodness gracious. Yeah, and like I said, man, look, let's be real, man. America ain't followed the Constitution since they created that motherfucker. Let's be real.
So should we just rip it up and start a new one? I mean, because when can we have one that's followed? Because I mean, I'm just trying to understand. Like,
rip it up. I feel like the founders wiped their ass with it once they wrote it. They were like, yeah, we writing this shit and all, but we about to break every last one of these motherfucking constitutions in this shit. So I'm
this
like,
is my thing. A lot of conservatives, they're about law and order. They're about following laws and order, right? Am I wrong? But y'all right. Don't want to follow the rules we got. Y'all want to say, let's rip that shit up. It don't work like that. When you play Monopoly, you can't say, oh, I'm going to rip up these rules. We're not going to play no more. I'm a conservative. I think I'm like really a conservative at heart because I believe in following rules. And I think people like picking and choosing rules.
I got to disagree with you on the Monopoly shit because if you the bank, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, the bankers got to sit out.
You right, Enzo.
Bankers got to sit out. Come on.
You feel? I'm just saying, if you got the money, you make the rules. And I will not say who got the money and make the rules on this platform. We done said it plenty of times. You feel me? But you know, they start A and end with a C. That'll give you the clue right there.
Ooh.
Start A with
a C. Okay, yeah, good answer.
Yeah, feel me?
Well, I guess the only rules apply to them then, because like the rest of us, like, I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand the rules. Apparently, y'all don't want to follow the rules. So then, how can we say that anybody came through the border illegally? There, I don't understand. How can we say that there's a border? Like, I'm so confused what the rules are at this point.
Hold on, I'm gonna look something up real quick because I did have I wanted to look up something. Let me look it up first, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I was thinking.
Great, Ozzy. I hope they're watching. I really do, because then they'll know we're not doing anything wrong. So please, I hope they're watching. Yes. And pretty sure they are, because we've already been trying to be infiltrated by some. And I figured out who you are if you're watching.
I need a whiteboard that just, I can hold up. I didn't do shit. That's all I did. Not saying anything, just put it in front of my face.
I condemn all violence. I love this country. There's no other country I would rather live in.
Hey, Trump, listen, I'm wearing the USA hat. Help brother out, all right?
Okay, well, while you look that up, I'm going to play the clip for Enzo. This is actually a win for Trump and MAGA, and we can cheer it on. Here we go.
Today marks 9 months since President Trump has been in office and since he began his work to restore American safety for our families that live here. What he has accomplished for the American people
Every
is
time I
nothing
see
short
her,
of
I always want
extraordinary.
to
We
figure out
appreciate
who
what he
her
has done to make us
esthetician
safe
is
again, to
because her
secure our
Botox
borders,
and filler
and to
looks
make sure that he's
immaculate.
protecting our people.
Yeah, and
Since
it doesn't look
January,
too
the
much. It's a
Department of
nice
Homeland
balance.
Security has arrested over
Right? She looks so different from like
480,000
10,
criminal
15
illegal
years ago.
aliens. 70% of those individuals
She
have
got the
criminal
MAGA
charges
makeover.
against them or have been convicted
Mm-hmm.
of those criminal charges. Across the country, we're making communities safer so that families can thrive and they can prosper and they can enjoy the kind of freedom that this country was established to provide.
So, Enzo, they said 600,000 people are estimated to have been deported or left on their own. These are the numbers that the Trump administration is providing. What do you think about this? Is this a part of the Project 2025 plan, or is this a win for Trump?
Ain't doing enough. They said there's 11 million of them. Look, we only had 600,000 in 6 months. You said it was going to be mass deportations. What's going on? That's my real question.
But that's a
And
record number they claim.
Yeah, I know that's great, but I'm saying when I hear mass deportations, I want to see Obama level deportations. I want to see Clinton level turnaways at the border. That's what I want to see. When
I
I hear
will
the
say
word
the
mass
border is very
deportations.
safe. I don't
Oh
think
yeah, no, it's down 92%. Like, yeah, that's absolutely great. But I mean, what about the people inside? What are we doing about them? I mean, if we had activist judges that would stop fucking around and trying to stop Donald Trump every which way to Sunday, then maybe we would have more done. But you know, Democrats MO, because we want to talk about Project 2025, but we don't ever bring up the Democrats' plan for leadership. They have those in place too. What we could talk about Biden's plan for leadership is ship all legal migrants into the country. We don't give a shit about the border and let them flood our country. I mean, I just got sent the one from 2003. The one most 2003 Cap Center for American Progress is the Dems version of the Heritage Foundation, and that was their plan for leadership in 2003. If they would have won in 2004, nobody wants to talk about that. And then Project 2025, but we forget about Agenda 47 that was out before Project 2025, which is Donald Trump's real platform. They copy and pasted a lot of things. I do agree with a lot in Project 2025. The federal powers and structures, right here about the immigration and border, abolishing the Department of Homeland Security and creating a streamlined immigration enforcement agency, integrating TSA, ICE, CBP, and UCIS. The economy and taxation replaces income taxes with a national consumption sales tax. In the long term, simplifies taxes to two flat brackets, 15% and 30 tax, cuts corporate tax to 18%, move to a gold or commodity-backed dollar. Social policies and justice, eliminate DEI programs. I've always agreed with eliminating that. Remove such terms as gender equality. Like there's a lot that I agree with in, and that's in Project 40 or Agenda 47, not just in Project 2025. So everybody's like, oh, Project 2025, the boogeyman, because certain people are white supremacists and white nationals. Literally, it's copying Agenda 47 that was out before it, guys. Like, let's be real. Every administration has their guidelines for leadership and structure. This is not something new that everyone needs to freak out about, like Kamala and Joe Biden on the campaign trail. This is just, sorry to say, it's just scare tactics. Because when was the last time you heard a conservative talk about the Democrats' version of Project 2025 or whatever it was? No, none of them, because we all know that's a thing. We all know they have their standard for leadership, how they want the government to run.
I still talk about them because I need to remind people how bad Joe Biden was. So when people complain about Trump, for me, I don't regret my vote. Let me be clear. I don't agree with everything Trump is doing, but I don't regret my vote because I think it would have been worse under him and it would have been worse under her. So it's levels to it. Let me be clear. But at the same time, for me, I'm going to call things out because I don't want a dictator. I don't want him running 3, 4, 5 terms and thinking the shit's cool when people are literally hurting out here. And I'm not just saying it's all Trump's fault. Some of it is trickled down from the last administration.
Not gonna be a dictator.
And
like, that's crazy.
If he runs a 3rd, 4th time, he is a dictator.
Good. I want at this point. I said it last
night.
night. I'll say it again. I want him to run for a 3rd term. I want him to, just so I can laugh in all the Democrats' faces. I want him to run, and I want him to win. I'll wear that fucking Trump 2028 happily. I'll recant everything I said earlier this year. Let him run. Y'all put a brain dead person in office for 4 years. Let us do the same.
Hey, y'all glossing over the main ban of the Project 2025 though.
What's that?
They was gonna ban porn, y'all. That's gonna start an uprising.
Answer says he's okay with that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of cool with that because it's rotting the brains of kids, and kids should not be seeing that. I'm gonna be completely blunt, honest about it. I'm happy that certain states, but I'm saying I'm happy states are actually putting things forward so you cannot access that. That I'm happy about, and it's some aspects of it because that's not real life. Like when you're having sexual intercourse, porn is not real. Like people will see that and think that's real, and they can go do those certain things with women or men or whatever it is, and like you're gonna get the fucking charge. Like it's fantasy. People need to understand that.
Well, Bobby, he wants to run again.
What's up?
No, Bobby said you can only. Right, Bobby, you can only serve 2 terms, and there's a reason for it. No. But he's confused. He wants to run again, and spoiler alert: these people are going to give him. They're okay with having Trump in diapers.
Yeah, no, Ansel, though, I agree with you with the kids seeing the porn and shit, but I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'd rather a motherfucker be watching porn and get his nut off than a motherfucker filled up with all that testosterone nut and be them incel Myron Gain type motherfuckers. Let's be real. You feel me?
I see both sides of the coin on it, yeah.
I see both sides too, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you know? But yeah,
I think getting rid of it, I think like just heavily restricting it so kids cannot, yeah.
Yeah, restricted. Yeah, it's crazy though because these kids be knowing certain shit. We don't know the find certain things, so it's kind of like it's like a slippery slope, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But okay, guys. This last clip, or I'm gonna let Kimberly answer, and then we'll play one more clip and go into closing thoughts. This is about the Supreme Court rulings that have happened recently, which is also a factor of it.
Bar, yeah, this is a split panel, bro. We all got different ideologies and shit, bro.
Go. Oh no, it got deleted. Okay, well, let me play this instead.
This as an institutionalization of Doge. Correct me or expand on what I just said there. Is that what this is?
That's what it is. This isn't a new bill. This is something that President Obama, President George W. Bush, and I believe President Clinton had all requested when they were president. For various reasons, it didn't happen. Presidents from going all the way back to President Roosevelt to President Biden tried to do certain aspects of government reorganization. And if you think about it, whether you're conservative or liberal, whether you like President Trump or you don't like President Trump, we should always be reforming and updating government. Programs become obsolete. Budgets change. Everything's different. But the way we operate in Washington is from the Fred Flintstone era. And this bill would allow President Trump to do what he was elected to do, what he was given a mandate to do, and that's to reform the federal government and to help Doge implement cost-saving measures. Because this is about the taxpayer who's taking it on the chin because our federal government continues to operate on a $2 trillion annual deficit. This will make government more efficient, and this is something that we've worked closely with the Trump administration on in trying to get passed through Congress. Yesterday, it passed out of the House committee.
Talk to us about PBS and NPR. How much do those two entities actually pull from that $500 million bucket?
They pull a significant amount of that. And if you look at what NPR has reported, dating back to COVID and Russian collusion and the Hunter Biden laptop story and our Biden influence peddling investigation, I use the headlines from NPR, from their website, that were completely false. They were spreading false stories. They were spreading disinformation, and they're spreading liberal propaganda to people at taxpayers' expense. Look, if they want to be like MSNBC and the Huffington Post and report things that just aren't true, then they have a right to do that. But once they start taking federal dollars, which they do, they don't have a right to do that. And that's what my opposition was. And look, I said in that hearing, I grew up in rural Kentucky, and I was a farmer in the private sector before I came to Congress, and I used to ride in a tractor for hours each day, and I would listen to radio, and I wanted to listen to the news, and the only news station I could pick up 30 years ago when I was a kid right out of college was NPR, and back then they were somewhat balanced. They were a little tilted left. Today I don't even recognize NPR, and I listen to it occasionally just to hear what they have to say, and they're wrong. They're wrong on everything, and I believe in freedom of speech. If they want to be wrong, they can be wrong, but they shouldn't get a penny of taxpayer dollars. And that's where I ended my questioning in that hearing. I don't want to send NPR 1 penny of federal tax dollars.
Okay, Kimberly. So pretty much, I can't find the Supreme Court clip, but what do you think about that? He's talking about redistricting. He was also talking about shutting down NPR and PBS, which was like one of our, government-funded news entities. What do you think about that? Do you think that they're trying to control the media? Like, what do you think?
I was waiting for that Supreme Court reference. I was like, wait, what's going on?
I'm going to try to find a clip but while you talk.
Okay, here's my hot take. I agree with him. I don't think they should be funding NPR and PBS. I think they should be privatized. They did get the Hunter Biden laptop story devastating long. They did push the Steele dossier and the whole Russiagate story for way too long. They do push a lot of fake liberal propaganda. It's hard to. I think there is a use for nationalized radio. I think there is a use for nationalized TV programs, but they have been completely co-opted. I think it's the same thing with the ACLU. ACLU is not today what it used to be when Ira Glasser stood up against the Nazis in Skokie. They get co-opted. They start funneling a lot of these money to push this fake propaganda narrative. If at this point that's what NPR is, not too familiar with PBS, then maybe they should be privatized. I don't know how to go forward with a national, or how maybe somebody has a better idea than me about some form of nationalized radio or TV station that won't be co-opted or completely coerced by some like liberal or even conservative point of view. And then the thing they were talking about before that, HR 1295, I'm not too familiar with what they were talking about with regards to that. And this whole time I thought Project 2025 was like a thing. I thought it was real. I didn't know it was like an open secret, because of all the things that just like how even Mia pointed out, that they just like kind of verbatim read through from the idea of Project 2025.
Yeah, so I found the Supreme Court clip, y'all. We'll do closing thoughts and I'll react to it. This is big rulings that have come down this week. And I just want to caveat, before I played this clip, I did research, and because I'm like, I don't know if I trust this person because it's TikTok. I'm going to be real with you. But these are all real rulings, I am going to say, because I did research them. You guys can do your own research, because I always tell you guys I don't trust people on TikTok. But here we go.
Performance, the Supreme Court just dropped 3 opinions that will gravely change the course of this country and your lives. Here they are. First, the Supreme Court ruled that cities can prosecute people for sleeping or camping in public, basically making homelessness illegal, and that they can prosecute people for sleeping or camping in public even if they are unhoused and have nowhere else to go. We cannot arrest our way out of the homelessness crisis. Next, the court overturned Chevron deference. Now, I pinned a video on what Chevron deference is in my main profile, so you can go back and look at that because it's a little complicated. But basically, it says when there are ambiguities in the law, deference goes to the agencies who are experts. So let's say there's a chemical spill. The EPA is the expert on how that should be handled. Not anymore. Now, judges are the expert on how things like that should be handled. The Supreme Court has just made judges the ultimate experts on everything. And there will be no deference given to actual field experts in things like health, medicine, environmental. Well, no time to cry over Joe Biden's performance. The Supreme Court just dropped 3 opinions that will gravely change the course of this country and your lives. Here they are. First, the Supreme Court ruled that cities can prosecute people for sleeping or camping in public, basically making homelessness illegal, and that they can prosecute people for sleeping or camping in public even if they are unhoused.
Yeah, guys, we'll start with closing thoughts. Kimberly, thank you for coming back. What's your closing thoughts? Because those are the Supreme Court rulings.
The solution to homelessness is not to criminalize homelessness. I think there's like a bigger issue here with not just homelessness, but crime, where like the root causes of socioeconomic issues and the American culture. There are the majority of them are issues of poverty and desperation. And there are better ways to fix or correct or help people who are dealing with homelessness, or a lot of these crime-ridden cities, like I said, have to do with socioeconomic issues. I think that this Supreme Court decision was a complete failure. I hope it can get fixed in some future. Homeless people, a lot of them have jobs, a lot of them are families, a lot of them are veterans, and we should help them, but not by criminalizing them. And then you guys can follow me if you want on Instagram. I'm mostly just on Instagram, and I always enjoy the conversation with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Kamal, what's your closing thoughts?
All right, shout out to everybody on the panel. Y'all go follow them. You feel me? Follow the new party too. I forgot to pin it at the top of my chat, but y'all go follow the new party and hit the notification bell so you know when they go live. If you want to follow on my end, Kamal Johnson Network, go over there, follow me. You feel me? David Johnson, go over there so I can school your stupid ass. God damn, you dumb motherfucker. Bring your ass over to my network, man. I'd love for you to be over there so I could clown your dumb ass. But anyway, hit the notification bell too when you go over there so you know when I go live. Also, like I said, everybody on the panel has TikToks. You feel me? I've been in some of Enzo debates. I ain't gonna lie, man. He bring out the liberals that's on the kooky side. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. God damn.
Dude, it's terrible.
Man, it'd be wild, bro. You feel me? And then yeah, follow Kimberly on Instagram and also follow Mia, not Maya. All right. Y'all go follow her. She probably gonna run for president in 2028. You feel me? Yeah, with Project 2025, some of the things in there is real. We see it already happening and stuff like that, and it's coming to fluorescent. You know what I mean? Also, the Venezuelan thing where Burr bombed the boats and shit. You feel me? Shit, there's casualties in fucking war. You feel me? I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't feel sad for motherfuckers because what they done to my lineage as a Black American. You feel me? A foundational Black American. Sometimes y'all be wanting us to feel sorry for certain shit. I can't do the Justin Timberlake Cry Me a River ass shit. I'm sorry. You feel me? Also, man, if you're a legal immigrant, get your illegal ass out of here. I don't give a damn. Get your ass out. You illegal, man, and we already did our Inspector Gadget research, and yeah, they might bring in 100 billion, but they taking away 150 billion. Last time I did math, that's negative 50 billion that we losing as Americans. Okay? And do I got any last words? Shout out to everybody also that's in the new party. I saw Heaven in the chat. You feel me? Shout out to Doc, man. That's what I'm talking about. Call out all coons. Andre Williams, that was so sweet getting your ass whooped. You feel me? In Detroit, it must be that black on black crime in Detroit that got your ass whooped by them white folks. Cooning never prospers, y'all. The same as tethering. Like Gene, trying to write a tell-all book to the Democrats. God damn, you motherfuckers grifting every moment y'all get, man. It's pathetic. Goodness gracious, man. And yet, Chaos Starlix, man, you can eat a dick, motherfucker, talking about illegal immigrants built this country. No, the fuck they didn't. God damn. David Johnson and KR, y'all motherfuckers, man, come over to my network, man. I need some detractors, man. Y'all motherfuckers is ignoramuses, man. Come over to Kamal Johnson Network so I can school your dumbasses on some stuff. Everybody else in the chat, shout out to y'all. You feel me? Y'all most definitely was like not agreeing on certain things, but y'all were respectful. I appreciate y'all. You feel me? DW, yes. Oh, and I wanted to say something. NPR, that shit can go. I don't know about PBS, man. The Reading Rainbow, Sesame Street. You feel me? I don't know, man. That's childhood shit, man. I don't know if I want PBS.
Leave Big Bird alone.
Yeah, right, Enzo. Leave Big Bird alone, man. So PBS, I'm fine with staying. You know, they got the is it Hey Arnold or Author? I think it's Author. They got Author over there, you know, DW and shit. You feel me? So
Oh yeah, Arthur. Yeah.
Hey Arnold, that was Nick.
Yeah, hey, I was like, wait, and so you're right here with
Yeah, that's Nick. I remember that big ass football head.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he just a grown up Stewie Griffin.
Enzo, you cracked some code right now. Uh-oh. Damn. You right.
Family Guy is the prequel.
Wow. Damn, you put your tinfoil on right now and just crack some code right now.
That was just straight off the dome, bro. I just literally just made that up just now. I didn't even think about it.
Damn.
Oh Lord. Ray, what's your closing thoughts?
What I would say is that the shutdown and Project 2025 is connected in the way that they're taking advantage of the shutdown. 1,400 people were laid off from the nuclear power plants that with the government. And I just want to play the video of who Russell Vought is. It's only a minute long.
This is the most important person in the Trump administration that you've probably never heard of. At least until the president posted this.
Join us now, Russ Vought.
Russell Vought, director of the office.
I tell people when Russ Vought speaks, it's like a papal bull. You should pay attention.
He's more than just Donald Trump's budget guru. He has two very clear goals: to make the presidency as powerful as it's ever been, and to dismantle as much of the federal bureaucracy as he can. People have referred to him as the shadow president.
So that give homework on that. So yeah, like we always say, a new party, always vote. You're muted.
I said, okay, you had to drive home the Project 2025. You ain't getting off that. That's the one W y'all got, the Democrats got. Anyways, and what's your closing thoughts?
So my closing thoughts are: it was a great episode. This whole Project 2025 thing, like when the Democrats started admitting that they have their own versions of Project 2025, I'll start giving a shit. There's things in it that I agree with. There's things that I don't agree with. Just like every administration, if you follow your party and you follow your candidate to a T and don't question anything and just listen and are okay with everything, you're a part of a cult. I'm going to say that for the Democratic Party. That's exactly what you guys are. You guys don't question shit. You take everything they say. You use their exact talking points. I talk to the Democratic Party every single day on my lives. Every single one of you, it's like you're reading off a script. There's nothing new. There's no original thought. There's nothing. You guys are cooked if this is the way you're going to keep going. And to Russell Vought, I mean, they want to call him the shadow president. I thought that was Putin in 2016. I thought that was Elon Musk at the beginning of the year. I thought it was Netanyahu like halfway through the year, but now it's Russell Vought. Who's the shadow president in the United States? Because I can't figure it out. I don't know. I thought Donald Trump was a president, but everyone says he's a king too. So I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just here so I don't get fined. And with that, Everybody have a great night.
Hey, you punk motherfuckers in the chat, say who y'all talking about.
I think they're talking about you because they said
I
you
know
said
they
you
is.
for
That's
me.
why I'm calling them out.
You
God
feel
damn,
me?
David Johnson. First of all, go smoke your meth, nigga. You was out here saying some dumbass shit in the chat. Out here, I'm telling you, you the homeless man yelling at birds and shit. You feel me? Yeah, and I'm gonna say it again. All right, Eric, bring your punk ass over to my network too. Kamal Johnson Network, so I can school your dumbass too. God damn. Hey, I want the detractors over now. I already got enough of my fam side. I need some more of you idiots so I can show how dumb you motherfuckers be, bruh. Good Lord. Anyway.
Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
This is for all the individuals that are upset about the lack of food stamps that are coming November 1st. There are 29 states in the United States that have no concealed carry permit. Go with God and take that information as you will, and be careful because you just never know who may be packing when you think you're going to unpack their groceries after they just spent $500 on 3 items. Like I said, stay blessed and go with God with that information.
Yeah, Florida's open carry now, Mia. I learned that.
Same where I live. Go with God with that information if you think you're going to unload somebody's groceries out of the back of their car. You just never know who you're going to run into.
You got shotgun sounds, Kamal?
Oh, hold on. Y'all want me? Okay, I told you I got hella sound effects.
That's what you gonna hear if you go to Mia.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Take that information under advisement.
You feel me? Eric, only thing you feeling is your dog nuts, bro. Shut up. God damn.
Lord.
Out here. Shit.
All right, guys, this was a great show. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to Kamal, Gray, Enzo, Mia, and our newest addition, Kimberly. Thank you so much for coming, Kimberly, and joining our team. Make sure you guys go follow everybody and support their channels and platforms. Guys, the poll results are in. Is Project 2025 real? 55% said yes, 45% said no, and we have a split audience. So a lot of people voted for Trump in our audience. So this is Trump supporters saying this as well. So it's not all Democrats that voted yes. But anyways, nevertheless, we are still the United States of America. I always stand on we are one nation. Whether we all agree, disagree, we need to come together and unite. And I'm going to keep praying for that. God bless. Good night. Oh, make sure you guys come back tomorrow. We are doing a giveaway of 20 people. You got to be in the chat typing. The system randomly selects people. So make sure you come tomorrow night so you guys can get part of that giveaway for our subs. God bless. Good night. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.